Hull City grabbed their first win in 5 months, and Tim Walter's first win as Hull City manager in a 3-1 dramatic win at the Bet365 Stadium. It wasn't a pretty game for Hull City. It was a very, very stinky first half from them. Same from what we've seen from them this season so far. And it looked like it was going to be another disaster case on the road for the Tigers. But a stroke of luck in pretty much all of the cases, and also some fantastic football by Liam Miller, Casey Palmer and Regan Slater meant that Hull City grabbed a 3-1 win at the Bet365 Stadium in a successive season. We won there last season 3-1. We win there this season 3-1 in probably one of the most important wins in Hull City's season. It's certainly an early point in the season. It's first win this season, but it could be a very important one as what this could mean for the squad. The squad will kick on from this game. We go again Cardiff at home next Saturday. Cardiff are a very struggling side. 1 point this season, a draw, 4 losses in the Championship. So a big game that will be to determine whether Hull City can really turn the fortunes from this game into some positive attributes in that game. But it's certainly a big win for Tim Walter, and certainly more than I think it being the fact that it's Walter's first win and the fact that it's Hull City's first win in 5 months and it's their first win this season. I think the bigger factor is this relieves loads of pressure off the players for that Championship squad, the Hull City players. It relieves pressure off all of them. They can go out, play next Saturday. They can have a week's worth of training where they're going, we just won a game. Yeah, we take all that pressure off them. They've not won a game. That's gone now. They've won a game. They can relieve all of that pressure. We saw it. Liam Miller came on in that second half at half time. 30 seconds in, he puts in a bad cross and he's already arms flailing, effing and jeffing, having a go at himself, and he's frustrated. But he won't be anymore. Hull City have won. He had a very, very good second half when he came on and really proved the case why didn't he start. But we'll come to that in a minute when we go through the players. But first of all, we'll go through a bit more about the game. So it feels really bad to talk negative about a squad when they've won 3-1. It feels really weird for me personally. But that first half was shocking. If you was there in the live stream with me doing the watch along, we was down, we was frustrated, we was all sorts at half time. We had no real attacking play. We had no shots on target. We still only had 3 shots on target in this game. All 3 resulting in goals. So take that as you will. We had the possession in the first half. I'm talking about the first half. This kind of runs through the game, but the first half was where you kind of noticed it more because we didn't grab 3 goals. But we had all the possession. We was trying to get the crosses in. They just met the first defender every time. And someone said in the stream, they went, why do every team defend so well and don't make mistakes when coming up against Hull City? And it's not because of their defence. It's because of Hull City's attack. Hull City, when attacking and making them crosses in, they're just so predictable that every team can just line up and do the defensive minimum and look like a very strong defensive team. Because we can see Stoke City conceded 3. Yes, 1 was through a penalty, 2 goals from open play against the side that we're struggling this season. Let's not beat around the bush. We're struggling. So that's the massive frustrating factor. It's Omer on the wing. Why? Why is he not through the centre? It's starting Balumi over Liam Miller. It's a bit confusing. I mean, Balumi had a few good shots, them 2 shots that were very similar in that first half that were unlucky not to nestle in the top corner, which I loved. Some good factors, but Balumi, he's getting outdone by the defence. He's giving the balls away up that right-hand side and really just removing one channel from us, which means we have to try and do everything through the left, and then that becomes even more predictable, and it's a whole, one thing leads to another. It's a domino effect of disasters for Hull City in that first half. And the goal, I was saying in the stream, I went, Stoke, they haven't scored a header in so many tries. It popped up on the screen, and it's since April or whatever it was. And then, of course, they do score from the header. But I've got to say, every Hull City player in that first half looked like they was running around like headless chickens. They didn't have any plan, any strategy. They didn't have anywhere to go. They weren't man marking. They wasn't really defending. They wasn't doing anything going forwards. They looked lost defending, and going forwards, they looked like they just had one thing they could do, and that was all. And it just didn't work out. Then second half rolls around. Change at half time. Omer off. Liam Miller on. Interesting one. I thought, why bring Omer off? At half time, he was kind of saying, right, bring Balumi off, maybe, and have Miller out on the left, and maybe bring Kamara out for the right. Something along them lines. Miller comes off. Omer off. Omer, maybe have a bit... It's hard to say Omer had a stinky game because he's playing out of position. He's playing in a position he has no right to play as a player. He needs to be playing that number 10 role through the middle. He's got the number 10 shirt for a reason. But Liam Miller, he came on, and what an impact he made already. He was riling up the fans. He was making runs. He was crossing. Of course, the crosses wasn't working, as no City player can seem to make a decent cross at this club. But he was doing it. And then more and more was building. And we managed to win a penalty. It was... I don't know why. There was re-showing it on there, so I don't know if there was a few argy-bargy saying, why was it a penalty? Bedio really should have scored from the chance that led to the penalty, but he decided to get too far towards the goal so that his header was heading away from the goal that he was trying to score from. I'll come to Bedio later on in the video, but I'm not convinced on him in a Hull City shirt, I must say. But then that leads to Stoke trying to get the ball away, Balumi chasing it down. Balumi gets a touch and then gets tackled down, which meant there was a penalty awarded, and Casey Palmer up to take it. Casey Palmer shoots, and it's saved by Johannesson. Johannesson was at Rotherham last season, best keeper in the Championship last season. He saves the penalty and we think, oh no. But then Casey Palmer comes in for the follow-up and heads one in to grab his first. And in a full debut, I must say I was very impressed. I'll come to it in a minute, and you can see whether I've given him my man of the match for this game. But a fantastic game. Nearly scored 2 goals. Kind of did score 2 goals. The third one has officially gone down as an own goal now. We'll come to that in a minute. But Casey Palmer grabs his first of his time in Hull City, in a Hull City shirt, in his 201st Championship game. And he grabs one from his head, technically from the penalty spot, but saves and then heads it in. Then a few minutes roll by. I say a few minutes, 14 minutes roll by. Regan Slater comes on in the meantime. And I said Regan Slater, he looked very, very good when he came on against Sheffield United, just for the pure fact that he was putting energy into the game. He was trying to get something to happen, trying to do something. And he did the exact same thing when he came on here. He was doing it on. He was trying to do something. He made a fantastic cross-looping ball to find Balumi. Balumi really should have taken the chance first time to get one over towards Casey Palmer, who was in open space, who was in open space for the majority of the game. But Balumi didn't. He then ended up giving the ball away, and that was the end of that attack. But Regan Slater did fantastic. And he gets the ball from Liam Miller, so partnership there. Gets the ball over the top from Liam Miller. And I said, right as it's about to go in, you'll see the shot on the channel tomorrow if you didn't pay in on the live stream. But I went, oh, Regan Slater loves to score in the Bet365 Stadium. And he just powers one into the top right corner, similar to how he did last season at the Bet365. And that 3-1 win. So Regan Slater coming off the bench and making the winning goal it was for Hull City. Then a little bit of time passes by, 79th minute. It goes down as a Ben Wilmot own goal, so he scores from both ends for Stoke. But it was a weird one. So Casey Palmer, he looks like he's going to try and play one in towards Bedia. Then Wilmot gets a touch on it, goes in towards the goal. And Johannesson, I think it takes a touch off Johannesson, but it was going goal bound no matter what. That's why the own goal has gone down to Wilmot. And Johannesson's trying to claw back to get the ball. He stops it, but it's too late. The full ball has gone over the line. And once again, a bit of poor play by Betty, who was there to try and cover it up. But if it didn't take the deflection or whatever, it still would have ended up with Johannesson. So another stroke of luck a bit there from Hull City. I said in a video, a few videos back, if you were there, you may remember, I said, you just need to buy a ticket. If you don't buy a ticket, you don't win the raffle. That's why Hull City weren't scoring goals, because they weren't taking the chances. We don't have the shots on target. We don't have the shot factor to say, oh yeah, we're unlucky not to be scoring goals. We just haven't taken any chances, have we? We take the chances, and 2 or all 3 of the goals come down to a bit of luck. I say that all 3 because Liam Miller before the Regan Slater one. He picked it up off a misguided pass from Stoke. But those errors in the game that you have to pounce on. So it's not all down to luck. It is just a bit down to luck, though. Which hopefully just... Because you can't rely on luck all the time, can you? But this is what I was referring to at the start of the video, is hopefully it's going to be a kickstart for the City season. That's what we need. I've been saying this for a few weeks now. Hull City just need that one thing to go their way, whether it's to win by 1 goal, 3-1 in this case, or a certain player to grab a goal, or a certain player to grab an assist. And that'll just kickstart the season. It'll change their mentality, it'll change things behind the scenes, and things will really kickstart for Hull City and their season. And that seems to be the case with what we've seen this Friday evening over in Stoke with that 3-1 win. So let me go through my Hull City player ratings. So we'll start off with the starting 11 as we always do, work through the bench. And you want to stay tuned because some of the players, or certainly 2 players came off the bench. So you're going to get a very high rating from myself. 1 being stinky, 10 being absolutely fantastic. And I'll give my man of the match to 1 player along the way. Ivor Panda. Fantastic. He pulled out a fantastic save. His distribution was good. And the goal, really couldn't have done anything about it. He had a man on him, so he couldn't really move. And it was a powerful header from Ben Wilmot. So I'm not going to blame Panda for that. So I'm going to give him a 6.5 match rating. He didn't have too much to do. But what he did do, he did it all right and did it strong. Cody Drammer, he provided a bit of energy up that left-hand side throughout the first half. Was a little bit lacklustre in the second half. I think that was more because Liam Miller came on and was doing more of his job than what Cody Drammer was. So Cody Drammer, I'm going to give him a 6 match rating. Sean McLaughlin, still not seeing from the best from him. I think him and Alfie Jones lacked a little bit in this game. Didn't provide too much going forwards and doing the job that they kind of need to do under Volta ball. So McLaughlin, I'm going to give a 4.5. Jones, I'm going to give a 5 to. Louis Coyle, he had some bright moments. He looked all right. He was making the right things. He was all over the place. But I'm going to give him a 5.5. Match rating, maybe, actually, I'm going to up it to a 6. I think I'm going to give him a 6, Louis Coyle. Casey Palmer. Now, this is my man of the match. I'm going to give a 9.5. I think he's almost certain to get man of the match, though, with a 9.5. Only thing that I think the 0.5 where he maybe could have got better would be if players would pass to him when he was in open space. So the 0.5 isn't even Casey Palmer's fault. He has to blame the rest of his squad for that. But 9.5 for Casey Palmer. What a full debut for Casey Palmer. Fantastic stuff. Oscar Zambrano, he came off with a bit of an injury, so hopefully there's not too much in that. He was clutching his hip, his knee and his hamstring, so we're not sure what fully went on there, so we'll wait and see on that one. I'll report to you when we do know that one here on the channel, so stay tuned for that. But Oscar Zambrano, he played all right. He is in a very empty, nothingness position when Hull City aren't winning in a Tim Volta setup as a CDM. So I am going to give him a 5.5 match rating. Marvin Mahelm, so he's been rancid since sort of the second game of the season. He started off his season quite well for Hull City. I was very impressed with what he provided. But then, since then, he's been getting spots in the starting lineup when he doesn't deserve it, and he's not been providing anything. At one point in this game, I think about 20 or 25 minutes in, Chris Bedia had 2 touches. Marvin Mahelm had 3 touches as an attacking midfielder. That is not good. That is not good. So Marvin, I am going to give you a 4 match rating. Hopefully things do improve. Abdul Shamir. Unfortunate, as I say, for Abdul Shamir, I think I've covered everything. It's just unfortunate that he is out of position and he's having to play in a place where he doesn't thrive and it's not the best for his play style and his build and everything. So Abdul Shamir, I'm going to give him a 4.5 match rating, and that is, again, not down to him. Mohamed Baloumi. Baloumi, he had some good moments in that game. Maybe was subbed off a little bit. Or no, he wasn't even subbed off, but we were saying that he maybe should have been subbed off at various points, which is kind of testament to the fact that he was getting beat too much on that right-hand side and giving away possession far too much. So I'm going to give him a 4.5 just for the fact that he was giving away possession far too often to Stoke. And Chris Bedia, the final man in starting 11 to cover. Chris Bedia, yeah, I'm going to give him a 4 as well. It's not looking good for Chris Bedia. He seems that he can't even convert an easy chance. He doesn't even work himself into some good spaces. I put him down as unfortunate, maybe for far too long. So he came off to be replaced by Mason Burstow. Burstow, I maybe would want to see start the next game at home against Cardiff. Bedia came off. The whole bench was smiling, giving him good hugs and everything, handshakes and everything. And Bedia was just there like, I think he was just absolutely fuming. He didn't want any of it. So Bedia for match rating. Liam Miller. Liam Miller, he didn't contribute with a goal, but I believe he would have got the assist for the Regan Slater one. So he got the assist for the Regan Slater one. And from that, Liam Miller, I am going to give him a 7.5 match rating. Very, very good from Liam Miller. Probably one of his best appearances this season, and that being a 45-minute cameo appearance from that. Finley Burns, he came on to shore up the defence when we went 3-1 up. He made some good chances. Didn't see an awful lot of him, as it was kind of nitty-gritty at the end of the game, as Stoke had a lot of possession, but we were just trying to negate all of that. So Finley Burns, I'm going to give him a 5 match rating. Xavier Simmons, saw a little bit more of him. Similar thing though, a 5 match rating. Just came on for a bit more of a defensive sureness, and he came on to replace the injured Oscar Zambrano. Regan Slater, he's another one that's going to get a very high rating. Regan Slater, I am going to give him a 7 match rating. He had some good influence, maybe not as good of an influence as Liam Miller. Certainly proved that he maybe could make a shout to get that job over Marvin Mahelm in the next game at home to Cardiff City. I certainly would like it, as he had a very, very good time since he came on. Grabbed a goal, made a few good chances as well for City, where if the players did the best that they could have converted them into even more goals and even more chances for City. So I'm going to give him a 7 match rating. Mason Burstow, the final man to conclude, as the other 3 men did not feature. Mason Burstow came on right at the death of the game to replace Chris Bedia. So it's hard to give him a match rating, but I'm going to give him a match rating of a 4 just because I have to, and we didn't really see him. Players that did come on, Ryan Giles, he was on the bench. Stephen Outstate, he came on, he was on the bench for his first ever time in City. Apparently he's not fit enough to play a full 90, but once he is fit, he is going to be a huge game changer for City. Carl Rushworth, after having a bruised knee last week, he gets onto the bench. Didn't feature. Maybe a few shouts to say that he could come on, but he can't take away from the informed Ivor Panda. And then Abu Kamara, a little bit unfortunate not to come on in certain circumstances, but it all worked out in the end for Tim Volter and his men. So let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are and everything about this win. If you join me over on the live stream, thank you very much. So make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel so you do not miss out on anything Hull City. I will have a video coming out this weekend where we rack up some more of the news. There's loads of news. João Pedro, he's coming to Hull City. So why would you not want to try and stick around on the channel by liking and subscribing with notifications switched on? Check me out over on Twitter at HullCityFanCentral. I'll link down in the description if you want to get up to date on everything live and breaking around Hull City. And I will see you in the next video. What a Friday night it's been! Friday night football and Hull City win. Up the Tigers. Go on!